Hey, fellow sellers, welcome to another module on Amazon FBA training. And you know how I normally tell you guys, get yourself like a good cup of coffee or your favorite drink. Well, this session here, you're probably going to need a jug. This is all about copywriting, and this is really the make it or break it. And I know I've said that before about other items, and not to diminish from them. They're very important. How you treat your images and research and finding a product, all that stuff, very, very important. But this one here, once you've gotten to the point of having ordered your product, selected your product, and all the criteria that we talked about, this is going to be your product life. This is what is going to be on the product detail page. And it really is a make it or break it, because what you present on the product detail page and everything that goes into that page, as well as some of the things on the back end, are really going to either convert your customers or browsers. They're going to either convert your browsers into customers, or they're going to convert your browsers into walking away and not becoming a customer. There is a lot that is going on the product detail page, and this is really where the distinction between experienced sellers versus sellers who either got bad training or didn't take the time to understand the principles, and they rush in and they throw a product up with some pictures and some descriptions using some automated software, and then they don't understand why they're not getting sales. So everything that is on the product detail page has an impact. Everything that is formatted, the way it's presented, is there for a reason. So this session, I'm going to be talking quite a bit, and just understand that this is going to be a little overwhelming, just like it was for me. So it's a skill that you're going to need to practice. It's a skill that I certainly have had to practice, and I still practice. And it's okay if you come back and watch this video a few times. Perfectly normal. Even I come back and learn new things all about the product detail page and tweaking and testing and all of that kind of stuff. What I'm going to cover today is going to be the fundamentals and things that you really need to take your notes on. I'm going to provide notes, but I want you to take your own notes. You should always be taking your own notes and creating your own shortcuts and all these lists and rules for yourself for execution. Very, very important. So let's start on our most favorite page, favorite site on all the internet, Amazon.com. And what I actually want to do is I want to go through some pages that I selected just before I started to share with you a few examples of do's and don'ts. Okay, so let's start over here. All right, now these are just random products that I went through and just selected very, very quickly and scanned them very quickly to see in my first impression, was it a good page or not? Okay, so it's not an exact, I didn't study them for an hour each. It's just a quick impression of, is this seller on the right in the right direction or not? And we'll break it down together, and we'll go through what is good about the page and what is not. All right. So first of all, the template itself, Amazon uses a few different templates, and I'll show you another kind in just a minute. But as you browse Amazon, you'll notice that the product detail pages do come in a couple of different varieties. And so you have to be conscious about that. It impacts the way your titles are presented, descriptions, pictures, etc. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, on this page here, before we get into the details and the nitty-gritty, just take an overall look at this page. Okay, what do we have going on this page? So, first thing we have, we notice that everything is formatted left to right. Okay, visually, in the Western world, our eyes are flowing from left to right. So the first thing that we see is the image. All right, And understand this is intentional. Amazon probably spends millions and millions and millions of dollars on usability, okay, how we perceive content on their pages. And so everything has a reason of why it's presented that way. The placement of it, the colors, the size of the font, the length of characters or fields, what is above the fold, okay, where the add to cart button is placed, the color of the add to cart button. All right, this orange has a propensity or is favorable for people who are wanting to buy. There's a reason why it's this orange yellowish because there's human psychology involved, there's human behavior involved. There's a reason why it's not bright red or black or blue, okay? Colors play an impact on that. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that this is a very, very well thought out page, possibly the most thought out page in the history of the internet, because billions and billions of dollars of transactions happen because of this page. So you better believe that nothing is random here. Everything is highly, highly tested over and over and over again until they get it right. And even now, they are still testing because they have different templates, okay? So if you keep that in mind, then that helps with you beginning to understand the significance of the copywriting and why you should do what you do and why you shouldn't do things that I'm going to tell you not to do. All right. So we studied, let's look at the overall format and placement of this. What is above the fold? All right. So above the fold, we have the image. We talked about that. Very, very important. This first image is critical. Then we have the title. We have the add to cart, and then we have our product description. Something like 70%, now I can't remember the exact number, but a very high percent of shoppers who leave this area when they start browsing like this, okay, abandon the page. All right, now let's think about that for a second. That means that 70%, and again, I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's very high, 70, 80%, something like that. 70 to 80% of people who land on your page, once they start flowing down the page, will never come back, okay? They will abandon the page. So what does that mean for us? That means if we don't get our picture right, if we don't get our title right, and if we don't get our description right, then there's a good chance we're going to lose them. Okay? So many times you have one shot. You've got one chance to get this right. So this is why at the beginning of this training I said that this is so important. So the rules and everything that we're going to go through. So I really want you to just, don't do any multitasking on this webinar, because I really want you to focus and I really want you to take notes. And again, we'll go over what makes a good title, what makes good descriptions, and all that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm just trying to get you to think about the significance, the importance of this page, okay, for all the reasons that I've mentioned to you. All right. We're going to take a look at, let's look at the rest of the page. So we have the frequently bought together here. There is a add both to cart, okay, but that's a lower conversion rate than up at top. This is very dangerous. This is your competitors, okay? We really don't want customers to be hanging out around here looking at all your competitors. And by the way, these products, obviously, these are just random products. They're not my products. And I don't suggest you go into them because they're top ranked. So very, very heavy competition. All right, some promos. And then there's your product description, product information, sponsored products. Again, more dangerous stuff here. We don't want customers to be hanging out over here. These are your competitors. And then we get into the reviews and feedback and ratings and all that good stuff. All right, and there's the competitors again. So, I mean, you see what I just showed you? I've showed you like 3 different pitfalls right there as they're going down the page, right? Let's go through them again. So here, you've got their full attention. They're not thinking about anything else. They're just looking at your beautiful product, your beautiful title descriptions, and the add to cart. You know, once they hit this, bang, that's it. There's your sale. But the minute they go down, competitors, danger zone, competitors, sponsored products, danger zone, competitors, sponsored products, danger zone, competitors, danger zone, recently viewed, that could distract them, and so on and so forth, okay? And then more sponsored ads. So you could see, you know, that there are chances when they go down past the fold that they're going to click on something else, and we don't want that. We want that as much of that shopping experience to happen right here, right above the fold, okay? And so there's a way that we can keep them there by using good techniques. Let's take a look at a few other pages before we do a breakdown over here. So here's another page. Again, just randomly chose this page here. So let's take a look at this page. What is this guy doing? All right, so he definitely has a very strong image. He's got a lot going on in his image. Now, the title, he's got a pretty good title. All right, now look at this guy's description. And I'm assuming I use the term guy for, you know, girls and guys because I'm Canadian, you know. We say guys a lot. So look at his description or her description versus the previous one. Look at that. Okay. I just want you to pay attention to these things, and we'll come back and figure out what's good, what's not. All right, let's go down. Okay, look at the product description here. Let's go back and compare. Product description here. Okay, see the difference? Let's come back, let's look at another one. Okay. Now this guy has a lot more colors, so he's got a lot more stuff going on here. He's got his color palette selection guide. Now, let's go back to the title. Now look at the title here. Again, compared to this title and this title. See the difference? Very interesting. Like, what the hell's that? And what the hell is this? Interesting. Okay. And look at the bullet points. What the hell are these things doing here? Okay, let's keep going. Well, look at that. That's pretty fancy schmancy. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? If we compare it to our first seller, compare this with this, right? This is like a 1980s Honda Civic, and this is like a Transformers Optimus Prime. All the bells and whistles, stars and bolds and everything. Interesting. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, let's look at this guy. So he has a pretty exciting image, lots of colors, but the box in the background. Title. Okay. And let's do, what do you think about this? Lots of text, lots of description, some bold. Okay, and let's look at description. So it starts from here, goes all the way down here. Okay, interesting. So obviously you see the differences, and you need to be thinking now, why why this or this or the first one that I showed you? Like, what's the difference? And, you know, what's better? And this is where I'm going to throw a little bit of a monkey's wrench at you and a little bit of a curveball, okay? So instinctively or logically, our thinking is, oh wow, this is pretty fancy. Look, there's got a little hand, there's a little pointer, Mother's Day sale, set of 2, premium 5-in-1 multi-purpose silicone kitchen tool. Oh, nice little star. It's like nicely decorated, right? It's like sticking out. It's shouting at me. So it must be better because it's getting my attention. This is kind of cool. You know, the stars stick out. They make the format appear a little better. This is way cool, right? Because look, I can read it. It's clear and this and that. You know, versus the other guy, which right here is just like plain Jane, right? It's just like boring. There's nothing going on, right? Even here, it's very boring. So, so I'm deceiving you in a way because this is where we have to get into some of the psychology of selling. All right. There is a couple of things going on here, and so let me try to break it out. One, when we talk or when we look at these descriptions, the minute we start introducing long text in bullet points like this, what we're basically asking the customer to do is what? We're saying, hey, please read me. So please come in, and you were looking at this wonderful picture, and oh, my title, what does it say? You've got 4 lines here. I can't figure. Please read me, okay? And then you're saying down here, hey, please read me. You're asking the customer to go from a active purchase mode, okay? Again, the customer came here because the customer is shopping for something. So ideally, the customer wants to see the picture, get a good understanding of what's going on, what is this product exactly, what are the key features and benefits, and hit add to cart. The minute I start putting homework on the customer's plate and saying, and tell the customer, please read everything about this mat and the 9 suppliers that I sourced it from in China, and the 20 variations of it, I'm going to put them all in this title. I want you to please read that. And then I want you to come down here and I want you to read about every single feature that this thing has. And so if we look over here, supremely versatile. First of all, that's even spelt wrong. Versatile. I think they're trying to say versatility or versatile. There's no S over here. So supremely versatile. Our soft yet flexible, strong silicone trivet is the ultimate multitasker. Use it as a mat to protect your kitchen surfaces from scalding dishware or as a pot holder to grip hot pans safely. It also functions as a large coaster, jar opener, and spoon rest. 8 available colors. Well, yeah, I can see there are 8 available colors here. Why are you telling me that? You're just making me read. You're making me waste time. You're making me spend time here when I really should be spending time right here. But you're avoiding doing that because you're forcing me to read. Mother's Day special sale. Our trivets, pot holders are great gifts for mom on her day. Don't miss our special sale with the lowest price of the year while inventory lasts. Buy more than 1 pair and save even more. So discounts per additional units will show automatically at checkout. Get free 2-day delivery with Amazon Prime. Well, if I'm a shopper, I already know about Amazon Prime. You don't need to call it out. Made of high quality silicone, FDA approved silicone material, won't stain, mold, mildew, or absorb odors. Dishwashers, on and on and on. This is not what we want to do. We do not want to educate. We don't want to share every single feature of the product. Consumers are sophisticated. They can figure a lot of these things out. I'm not saying don't put anything. Do put the most important things, but don't be redundant. We don't need to be saying the same thing 10 different ways. FDA approved is very important, so we can say that. So maybe we have a bullet point here that says quality, and we just put FDA approved, mildew resistant. Do I really need to say stain, mold, mildew? Do I need to say all that? No, I don't. Heat resistant up to 442 degrees. That's important. So all of this could probably be condensed down by 50% at least, okay, to get the point across. The minute, again, that we draw in our customer down here and force them to read, we are entering that zone of 70% who will not go back above the fold and purchase. The same thing over here, right here, okay? You can input HTML, which is obviously what they've done, okay, to make things bold. They've used HTML to use these special characters, the stars. They've used HTML. Amazon doesn't really want you to do that. They permit it, but more importantly, or more critically, what am I doing? I'm basically saying, hey, read me, okay? There's a lot of things I want to tell you about my product. I want to tell you that it's perfect for a birthday and Mother's Day gift and this and that. Okay, let's do some more reading, all right? I'm now becoming more of a reader and a learner than I am of a shopper, which is horrible, because now you've got me thinking about birthday gifts. You've got me thinking about things that I didn't come in here for. Maybe I came in here simply because I need to buy one of these for my kitchen, like now. But now you threw Mother's Day and birth. Oh, well, Mother's Day is, maybe not for another 2 months. Or, oh, maybe I should get this for my wife, but that's 3 months from now, so I'll come back. Why are you doing all that? Why are you getting in the way of the 1, 2, 3, right? 1, get to the page. 2, look at the picture, look at the description, and 3, buy. So that's it. That's all we want. 1, 2, 3. So all of this stuff here, this is just distraction. Quality product made for years of use. FDA, dishwasher. So you're repeating everything that I've already read. Okay. So logically or instinctively, our gut reaction is to say, wow, look how pretty this is. Look at all the formatting. That is so nice. Oh, look at that. Look how much information they've provided. That is so nice. That must mean that there's a lot of stuff going on. And look at the description. Wow, they must have a really great product. Because now that's just your logic. That's not your intuition. That's not the shopping experience. And this is based on tons and tons of research, by the way. This is based on Amazon and all of the marketing organizations out there doing this kind of usability testing and proving this and saying this is what you need to do. So coming back to, here's another example. The title here, so let's go through this one. The title here, it's not bad actually, because they're describing each accessory that you're getting, but it's to the point. Their bullet points, again, why are you making me read a novel? I mean, geez, if I can't figure out what these things are, maybe I shouldn't be in the kitchen, right? I mean, I'm coming in here, 9-piece kitchen utensil set. Either I know what it is or I don't, and give me a short description like you did over here. Hey, this is for pasta, this is for this. But without, the Game of Thrones novel here. I mean, what's the point of that? So now you're making me read again. You're doing the same mistake as the other guy was doing. And then I come down and look at that again. You're making me read all this stuff. This might be important. Okay, sizes, yeah, that's fine. I probably would even just put, I mean, do I really need to know like the exact dimensions of every single utensil? Probably not. I probably would have just put, all utensils measure between 12 to 14 inches or something like that, right? Put some keyword benefits here, fine. But this is way too much. Now, if we go back to our first one, again, let's go through that 1, 2, 3 experience. I come in here. What is this? Okay, this is a brand name. Tiamo is a brand name. 9 by 12. Okay, that's the size. Very important. Multi-purpose silicone pot holder, hot pads, trivets, pot holders. Okay, black. Okay, so he repeated the keyword here, which is not a good idea. And okay, it's a non-stick, FDA approved, food grade silicone, heat resistant, flexible, easy to roll silicone mat and store away. Dishwasher safe, hand wash, saved your fingers and from getting scalded. He forgot the ed. Done. All right, that's good enough. That pretty much tells me everything that I need to know about this product. Now let's see what he put down here. He's basically repeating some of that, which is fine because it's short. I can scan this. I can read this whole thing in a few seconds. Super durable, strong, flexible, lasts a lifetime, easy to clean, stain and odor resistant. You notice those 3 bullet points, those are pretty much the same bullet points that we read from the other guy, but the other guy had a paragraph on each one. Now here, silicone hot pad trivets are versatile, flexible, incredibly useful, burst of color, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. He's probably peppering this with some keywords, which is important. But again, I can read this fairly quickly and move on. So understand the difference between the 2 different presentation styles. How much you present, what you present is very, very important. There has been tons of eye tracking studies to show, where your eyes are looking at. And, they have shown that eyes in the Western world go from left to right. So first, like I said, you look at the pictures, you look at the titles. Your natural eye movement is going to follow that first line. It's going to come down to the second line. And if you end right here, your eye is going to go right here. Okay. Or even third line. Okay. If there was a third line, I think this one had 3 lines. Yeah, there you go. This one has 4 lines. So your eye movement is moving like this. Right there. See that? And when you overdo it, and I don't have an example, but I've literally seen some lines that end right over here. I mean, Amazon has kind of shortened that number of characters now, but before it was crazy. I mean, you would see titles from up here down to here was titles, just like one long title, and your add to cart is there. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's see this one here. Okay, this actually is an example of the other format. And there's a few others, but notice how this page is completely different. And that goes back to what I was saying. Amazon is testing. So Amazon is trying different templates and formats, and they're trying things out. The add to cart side is much wider. The bullet points, where the heck did they go? Well, they're not there. They're down here. Description, benefits, suggested use, complete the look, blah, blah, blah. Okay, product description. So this is a very different template. So what's most important here? Title and pictures. Okay, your most important thing. So keep that in mind. So let's come back here. All right, couple of things I want to share now. The way that you present your title, you have to get into understanding your customer and what they are looking for. Look at it from their perspective, not from your perspective. So for example, what do I mean by that? So are you targeting this to, I mean, this one is fairly obvious. You're targeting somebody in the kitchen, but are you targeting a female? Are you targeting a male? Are you targeting a young person, old person? All of these things play a factor in your presentation, in your picture, and in your verbiage. All right. I'm going to share with you a couple of quick things about the behavior because, again, I do think this is really important to understand, and it probably makes much more of an impact on products that are targeted a little more. For example, this product here, right? This is for guys. And so the presentation is a little different, or should be a little different, versus a product that is targeted for a female. So let me give you a couple of examples. Okay. So in medical studies, they have actually found that um, the cortex, the brain, the physical brain is actually different between males and females. And it's really interesting when you study this stuff. Um, and so you can see here this, whatever they call this, is thicker. It's the connector between the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. In the female, it's actually thicker than the male. And generally, the left hemisphere is where your logic functions are. And what they say, and Sonia, my wife, would probably totally agree with this and say, I have proof, is that because this is thicker, women tend to use both hemispheres much better than men. And men tend to be stronger in their logical lobe, and we tend to be serial thinkers. We tend to do one thing at a time, which is so true. I mean, I don't know how you women do it, man. The way you guys multitask, where you got one hand, frying something on the stove, you got the other hand holding a baby, and then you're having a conversation. In the meantime, I'm like biting on my pencil because in my other hand I have a French fry and I forgot which one. I can only do one thing at a time. And by the way, I've literally done that. So, the processing, all this is to point out that the processing of information, visual information, pictures, as well as textual, reading, is different. So if you're trying to sell a woman's product, you have to keep that in mind. So what does that mean? So that means that women and men tend to have different shopping habits. Women tend to be more emotional in terms of their shopping experience. They want a ethereal or a emotionally based shopping experience, touch, feel, see, all of that kind of stuff. Whereas men tend to be much more utilitarian. And so when we go in, here's a perfect example. The difference between grocery shopping between me and my wife, okay? On a rare occasion, she will ask me, hey, honey, can you pick up some chicken and some bananas and some milk, all right? My shopping trip goes like this. I park the car, I wander around to the fruit section, I pick up the bananas, and then I forget what the hell I came there for. I call her up and I say, okay, now what was the next thing? And she'll tell me it was the chicken. So then I go over to the chicken, and at that point I remember, okay, what was that third thing? Whatever it was, broccoli. See, I already forgot. Broccoli. Okay, milk. I think it was milk. So I go straight to the milk section. I grab that. I take those three things, go to the front, pay for it, done. Here's Sonia's experience. Honey, we're going to stop on the way back from the gym, and we're just going to pick up two things. I just need milk and eggs. Okay, no problem. We get to the HEB, our local grocery chain. We go in there, and we do our shopping, and we walk out of there with milk, eggs, spinach, frozen foods, some frozen cans of whatever, this and that, and like 2 bags of groceries, right? And it always happens. And every time we go in there and I'm like, honey, I don't really want to spend half an hour. I'm kind of busy. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be those 2 things and that's it. And it never, ever is those 2 things. Now, the difference here is the shopping experience for women is a emotional based experience. And for men, it's a functional, it's a utilitarian. I need this, I need that, that's what I came for. I'm not looking at anything else, and I'm done. So translate that to your product feature. So your product that you're selling. If I was to sell a hammer, okay, and I'm trying to appeal to guys, then I'm going to list a picture. I'm going to be very clear about it, and I'm going to list a few things, and I'm done. If I'm going to be selling a woman's spa pillow, Okay, that's a total different copywriting experience that I need to do, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, this pillow is blue and it's this and it's that and done. No, I'm going to be a little more verbose. I'm going to talk about the experience. I'm going to talk, so I'm appealing to my target audience based on who they are. Is it a female or is it a male? Let me show you an example of sites that actually do that pretty well. So I've got a few examples here. Okay, so take a look at this one here. This is actually Zappos.com, and notice how the presentation for the men's product is different than the presentation for the women's products. You'll notice that on the men's side, it's it's dumbed down, right? It's just like, guys, you need a sweater, you need some shoes, you might want a flannel shirt, and you need some basic stuff, right? Very utilitarian, like, dude, you need this, this, this. Start picking those out, and you're done. Now, notice on the ladies' side, there's not one particular product that's being called out. Outerwear guide. So it's kind of like, hey, just by saying the word guide, it means, hey, we're going to have a conversation and we're going to give you tips and we're going to discuss, all the things that you need. Cold weather accessories. Again, what accessories? Not important. It's an experience. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to browse the accessories and I'm going to look at the colors and I'm going to, have an experience. Support a great cause. Again, that is totally an experience. Nothing on this side about causes, right? It's like we don't care anything about causes. We're just like, give me a shoe, I'm done, right? Totally two different experiences. So think about that in terms of how does that relate to your product? Do you have a feminine targeted product or do you have a male targeted product? Or if you have a product that's neutral, right? Then the presentation for that is you need to have a little bit of an appeal on both sides. All right, let me give you another example here. Okay, here's another vendor, online vendor, excuse me, ASOS. And what you'll see here is, again, men tend to be very utilitarian and very functional. It's very discreet. The layouts here are targeted differently for men than they are for women. Men tend to see things very individually, like, bomber jacket, sweater, whatever this is. Here, things are broken apart separately. Get this, get that, get this. Here you go, you need this. Whereas on the women's side, it's again more like, what the hell's ear candy, right? It's nothing. I mean, it's you have to go in there, and it might be earrings, it might be a whole bunch of things around that, but it's not that specific. Queen of Halloween, right? There's no product specifically being called out here. It's more of that experience. And so again, the appeal based on the psychology of selling is definitely different. All right, I want to share a couple more with you. All right. Girls watch faces, boys watch objects. Very interesting. Again, the perception. This is just like part of our DNA. We just are different. So therefore, how can your message be the same? So in this case here, I'm going to guess the girl with the red, and look at that. She's staring right at you, right? Or the photographer. And dude is like, oh, that shiny new toy. Right? And that's the way we are. We're like looking at shiny toys all the time. And eye contact is less important for us, but for women, they want that experience. So it's experience versus utility, right? So again, just an example of the differences between gender. There's also a factor of age. You got to treat people of different ages differently. Millennials versus somebody that's older. They're going to perceive things differently. So you got to keep these things in mind. I'm going to share one last one, and then we will move on. Take a look at this. You may be beginning to see a pattern now. Okay. This is a company selling TVs. Now, notice something here. First of all, they are actually doing a really good job, I think, of appealing to both sexes because, number one, they're using blue. Okay, and blue is one of those colors that works really well between both sexes. It's very dominant in both sexes. But the colors don't have the same appeal. All colors do not have the same appeal for both sexes. Okay, red is not the same for women as it is for men. Green is not the same appeal as it is for men versus women. They're different. Blue is a good crossover for the two. Okay, so they're using that color to draw in both sexes. Look at the guy. He's looking at this picture here. I'm going to guess is targeted towards the guy because it's just, hey, put your TV on your wall next to your speakers, dude. It'll look great. It'll sound great. Done. It's as simple as that. That's what I need to see on a TV is like, what does it look like? How can I envision it? There you go, done. Now look at this here. Now I'm going to, again, I'm guessing here that this image was targeted more towards a woman, right? Which is, hey, that experience that you can have. Now I don't know what they mean by this. I guess you can have a TV in your car, or maybe this is an image, in your TV. I don't know. But again, it's an experience. So appealing to utilitarian and experience together. And I think this is like just brilliantly done. But it's another example of thinking that you need to do when you take your pictures, when you write your text, and how your product is going to come across to men versus women. You can go to YouTube and you can Google some of this. You can Google the psychology of selling or selling to men versus women, etc. And you'll find some really good videos. And I think it's good homework. I think it's good background for you to understand. So now let's get back to our product page. All right. Okay, like I said, this session is heavy. And again, there's a lot of material to cover, but it's really, really important and really, really good stuff that we're getting into. And this is going to differentiate us from all these other courses that are out there because I learned from some of the best in the industry, and this is the stuff they taught me. So I'm diving much deeper probably than a lot of other courses that you may have taken or heard about, where they just kind of glance over this and say, oh, put your title this length and do this. I think understanding the psychology is very, very important. Okay. Let's talk about pictures. Now this guy, so we talked a little bit about the format, placement, etc., the significance of the psychology and understanding that. Now I want to talk about pictures. So let's look at this. This picture here, the first picture, this is following Amazon's terms of service, which is white background, filling up the space, 85 to 90%, done, okay? Let's see his second picture. His second picture is the same product, it looks like, with a bag over it. This picture sucks. This adds no value, in my opinion, to the product. Now let's look at this one here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Let's look at this one here. This product, okay, this guy is breaking like the terms of service of Amazon. He does have it on a white background. However, he's got this book in here. He's got this money back call out here. He's got another call out here, FDA approved. He's got a third call out here, free 2 pot holders, and he got the 2 pot holders in the back. So this is not really acceptable by Amazon. Now, Amazon is a complex animal, and there's rules. You can sometimes break them. Sometimes they will come in and crack down. Other times they won't. And it's their sandbox and their rules, and we just follow along as best as we can. Technically, this is against their terms, okay, because of having these callouts here and all that stuff. Let's take a look at their second picture. So this is not bad. This shows the two gloves stretched out. Here's a measurement. Okay, not bad. Now here's an interesting picture. Here's a picture of the glove in use. So this is how you might actually use the glove. That's a very good picture. This is another great picture. Here's the glove in use. These are called lifestyle shots. And then here's the ebook. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here. All right, here's a product, and they threw this in. Again, technically, this should not be there. This should really... interesting. You see what happened here? Let me show you again. I go to the first product. Look what happens. When I put my mouse over this, it expands, right? I get this expanded mode, and I can view in detail all the little details of the product. The same thing happened here, okay? That has to do with the resolution of your image. If your image is too small, like this one, nothing expands, okay? So I recommend your image size when you're uploading your images should be minimum 1200 by 1200. Now see this one here, it works. So this one, this guy uploaded a higher resolution, at least 1200, so that you can see all the details. This one here, I don't know why, but it's not there. So therefore, I don't get the expansion window, which is bad. You don't want this. You do want it to expand like this one, okay? So that's number one on images. So we're coming back and looking at this. So nice shot. He does have the color swatches here. It's fine. It's not really Amazon's. It's not really following Amazon's terms of service. Is it a big deal? Probably not. So it's fine. This here is showing the product. This is a really nice image because this shows me exactly the benefit of the product. This is the product. What am I doing with it? I have to visualize what this product is going to do for me. And here it is in use. This is the perfect second image. The first image is I'm almost wanting to say your second image is the most important image from your image stack, okay? And the reason why I say that is because the second image has to offer the experience of the product. And experienced sellers know that, and they will use that. So here's the product, and here's how you use it. This is you're basically taking the shopper and putting them into that experience. This is so critical. So this is like, you need to underline this one 3 times as far as images, okay? Do your first image like they ask you to do, which is show it like this, simple image. But your second one, it has to be an experienced lifestyle image. Choose that perfect image that captures exactly what it is. Because if you look at this, what's the focus of this image? The focus of this image is the hot pot, right? And the hands holding it. I mean, the product itself is actually covered by her hands, right? Look at the back. I barely see it, right? And here, she's covering, over 50% of the product. And that's on purpose, right? Because I'm seeing what I would actually do with this product. So in the third image, she's doing the same thing, okay? She's opening it with this. Again, she's covering the product. Here, look at this. The whole product is covered. But it's perfect because I can see what the image is being used for. So these are lifestyle images, and they're very important because you are relating the experience of the product to your customer. So these are perfect. I really like these. Look at that. Same thing. This is how you would use it. So it's showing the multifunction. Here you go. Same thing. She could have put her hand on this side and she could have brought it closer to the camera so you saw more of it. Well, why, right? What am I really seeing here? Let me go back. What am I really seeing here? I'm seeing a hot pot. I'm seeing this pot on the stove. I'm seeing, oh, you know, subconsciously, oh, look, she has it resting on this product. And oh, she's using that product to open it, right? My focus is actually on the pot, which is perfect because that's how I'm going to use it. And she does the same thing here and the same thing here. So this one, she really did a good job, or he or whoever that was really did a good job. Let's keep going. Okay, so this is a nice shot. Shows me all of my tools. There's a box over here that's really nice, so I can see how it comes. The box may or may not be included, but it makes for a great presentation, which is perfectly fine. You can have a box just as a mock-up or 3D rendering to show everybody, hey, this is kind of what it looks like, but you don't necessarily have to ship it with the box. Look at that second image. I like it. So this is, again, same thing, lifestyle. I probably would have preferred having somebody in the kitchen maybe holding or grabbing a few of these, using them, but this works too. You know, it shows the product where it belongs in the kitchen, about to be used. All right, here's a breakout. This is good. I mean, it shows the different features of the product. It shows that it's BPA free, FDA approved, etc. Now here's the product in use. That's good. That's good. This is great. Look at this. I mean, again, the product itself is occupying, you know, less than 15% of the entire image, right? The entire image is like over 60% of it is this pasta dish. And that's perfect because, again, that's how you would visualize using the product. Same thing here. Okay, so let's come back here. So comparing to what I just shared with you, how does this one play out? Well, here's the product. Okay, I can visualize it. I can see it. And here, what the hell is this, right? Looks like a radiator. So they made a nice little bag for it. Very cute. But again, how stiff is it? Is this like super hard plastic, or is it moldy? You know, that I can grip it and hold a pot cover with it. I don't know. I can't visualize it. I can't see it. So this guy's picture's not really ideal. This is fine, not really good. Second image, same thing here. It's a nice image. I would have used this as the lifestyle image. I would have used this as number 2. Okay, number 1, you know, without going crazy with all this stuff that he did, it's fine. But this should have been number 2, or this one, because it's that experience, it's that lifestyle. Here you go. This is what you're going to do with it once you buy the product. So a couple of rules there. Make a note of that and make sure that you implement that for your images. All right. The experience, that's what's going to convert the buyer. Okay, so that's very, very important. This is a completely visual experience. You're not going into a Walmart, Target, or whatever and actually touching this. But through these lifestyle type of shots, that's exactly what you're doing. In your mind, you're touching it. In your mind, you're grabbing it, you're feeling the texture, you're doing all of that. That's why that second image, having this lifestyle shot like this guy does, right? That's why that is so important, because you're essentially in your mind going into a store and you are touching it and you're feeling it and you're seeing the quality of it. So that's that. Good image versus bad image can, you know, make or break a sale. Alrighty, so now I want to move on to, we talked about images. I want to move on to the title. We talked a little bit about that, but I want to get into some specifics around the title. So previously, like I said, titles used to come all the way down here. I mean, it's crazy. You know, people used to stuff the title with all kinds of crazy keywords and things. Amazon recently, a few months ago, changed the rules on that. So now you're not allowed to do that. I mean, they've shortened the actual character length of the titles, so it actually won't do that. But what we really want to present is your most important keyword. Your most important keywords need to be in the title. So this here, multi-purpose silicone kitchen tool. Okay, I don't know if that's their most important one, but I'm going to assume it is. Okay, that needs to be in the title. That's rule number 1 for titles. The second rule, if this is your most important keyword, do not repeat this in your bullet points or in your description. Okay, very, very, very important. Underline this one 3 times. The reason why is because testing has been done on this. If you repeat your keyword in your bullets and your description and your title, they actually get demoted because they're considered secondary keywords. So your primary keyword, your most important keyword, should not be repeated. So this keyword, if this is the primary keyword for this product, should not be repeated. You can have variations of it, not variations, but you can have related keywords. Let's see, soft, flexible, trivet. I wouldn't put silicone. Trivet, I would put that there. That's fine, but I would not put this keyword in the bullet point or the description. The other thing about titles, let's go down and look at our categories. Okay, this is the categories that this particular product is ranking in. Home and kitchen, that's the top category. Number 2, trivets. Okay, that's down here as the last leaf on this category. Number 3, spoon rests. Number 11, in pot holders. I want you to take each one of these and put them in your title as it makes sense. Okay, so what that's going to do, and let's say this is your competitor and you want to come out with a product, again, not this product, but let's just use this as an example. Let's say you were competing with this guy and he's ranking really well. Then make sure, because this guy is ranking really well in these 4 categories, and we also want to rank in these 4 categories. So we need to make sure in our title we have, we don't need to do home and kitchen. We have trivets, spoon rests, and pot holders. It doesn't need to be plural, right? So it could just be trivet, spoon rest, pot holder. So we would actually want those 3 things up here. So he's got trivet, he's got spoon rests, and what was the other one? Pot holder, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, pot holder, 1 word. Okay, 1 word. So I would have that up there, and I don't see it. Oh, actually, no. Here we go. Pot holder. Okay, so this is an experienced seller. He knows what he's doing, and so he's got those 3 important keywords there. Now let's see if he repeats any of those here. Yeah, he is. Pot holder, trivets. So I wouldn't do that. I'd put other stuff, FDA, whatever, but you don't want to do that. All right, so number 1, do not repeat your keyword anywhere else except in the title. Number 2, include the category keywords that you want to rank in and look at the ones from your top competitor. Okay, so very, very important. And then number 3, you want to follow a format, and I'm going to see if anybody's actually doing that here. Okay, this guy's doing it. All right, you want to follow this format. Brand name, and then the functional use and the keywords. So what do I mean by that? So this guy, TMall, is the brand name of this product. And then the description with the keywords that we already discussed. Okay, to the point, and that's it. So why do we want to do that? Because look at this right here. Because when you're going to do PPC on your product, it'll read like this. All right, so you do want that brand name because that it shows in the title, doesn't show anywhere else. And you also are going to see those key functional descriptors right here. So what you put in your first 30 or so characters in the title is what's going to show up in PPC ads, and you will run PPC ads to launch your product. And so be very careful here that you don't put something like, Naeem's most awesome ABC company, three-piece stop. Okay, so what was it? Three-piece what? Maybe I can't see it from the picture, right? And that happens all the time. So you definitely don't want to do that. So rule here is start with the product name and consider what you're putting in the first number of characters by looking at existing PPC ads. See how many characters there are over here. And if you go into a category listing, let's see here. Let's actually do this right here, pod holders. If I do that and I open this in a new tab, let me try this here. And let's click on see hot new releases. There we go. Okay, now I can see ads right here. Okay, so I can see what's going on with the titles right here. And you want to make sure that your title makes some sense. And the ad placements are a little different, so you can't, it's not perfect, but these things are important. D2, 100% cotton, machine wa, lot silicone, hot H. Yeah, so let's try something else. Let's see if we can get a different format. Okay, they're all coming out the same. In different categories, these ads are going to be presented differently, and sometimes they do read a little bit longer. So keep that in mind. Another thing that you can look at, okay, let's go to Google. This really sucks. Somehow I got this thing installed and it keeps going to Yahoo instead of Google. I haven't fixed it. All right. Now, let's do a search for silicone pot holders. Pot holder, I guess it would be singular. Look at the ads over here. This can also give you a little bit of an idea from Google, because we would presume these people who are advertising on Google have spent a lot of money and done a lot of research on this as well to make sure that the beginning of their or the title makes sense. So this can give you some ideas here. MIU, two-piece blue silicone. Okay, fresh silicone. This one here makes sense. Decast silicone pinch mitts. That's a great title. So you want to keep things like that in mind. Let's just try pot holder. Okay, this one doesn't have any ads. All right, but you do have some ads here. So cute pot holder, Williamson. Let's go back. Target silicone pot holder, best silicone pot holders, etc. These are all ads, okay, and they're probably targeted for a bunch of different channels, so they've thought about what's the best short title to include. So that's something you can look at right here as well. Silicone trivet pot holder, Amazon.com. This is actually Amazon probably doing, it is Amazon doing retargeting, okay? And sometimes they'll do that with your products. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's come back here. So on the titles, the length of what you're putting in the beginning of your title, follow that format, brand name, functional, what makes sense for the short description that that is going to pop up in a PPC, and then all of the other rules that I mentioned. Your primary keywords up here include the category keywords that we talked about, and then keep it functional, keep it to the point. All right, now let's move on to the bullet points, and I've kind of talked about this quite a bit. One other thing that I want to talk about, so just to revisit this, functional, to the point. Don't make me read a novel because you're distracting me from the add to cart, right? We talked about that. Give it to me straight and let me walk away and make this quick decision. See the product, see the lifestyle usage of the product, get the features and benefits, and hit add to cart. Okay, that's the experience that I want. So I want to talk about what we actually put in here. And a little bit of psychology comes into play here as well. Well, I mean, there's psychology all over this page, but specifically, what's a feature versus a benefit? Okay, and people buy based on benefit. They couldn't give a rat's behind on features. All right, if you tell me there's 24 threads in here or tiles in, I don't care. All right, but if you start telling me why it helps me, then I start caring. All right, so there's a big difference, and you need to understand the difference between a feature versus a benefit. And there's also YouTube videos on this, marketing feature versus benefit. You should Google that, watch some videos on that, and understand that selling on benefits is critical. Selling on features sucks. There's no point. So quite often when you're watching TV and you see car commercials, you know, they do talk about features, engine size and blah, blah, blah. But there's always that visual of the guy and his hair blowing in the wind. Okay, that's the feeling, that's the benefit, it's the freedom, it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll show an SUV and they'll show a mom loading groceries into the SUV. Well, the feature is the automatic lifting gate or the automatic lifting trunk, right? But the benefit is that she doesn't need to put her grocery bags down. That's the benefit. That's why she wants to buy it, not because the gate is automatic. That's just a feature. So understand the feature, the difference between features versus benefit. So one way to consider this, the one way to list your feature and benefit, and not only features, is to ask the so what question. Okay, so here's an example. Non-stick, FD, so it's non-stick. Okay, so what? That doesn't tell me anything about, for me, FDA approved food grade silicone. So what? It's FDA approved, but so what? Well, it means it's safe. Okay, well, I want it to be safe. I want it to be safe for my kids. And okay, that's the benefit, is that it's safe. The feature is that it's FDA approved. Heat resistant to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so what? The feature is that it is heat resistant to 500 degrees, so you could lift that super hot, you know, curry that you're about to lift off the stove. The benefit is we'll protect your hands. We'll keep your hands from being burned. We'll keep your hands safe. That's the benefit, which is not listed here. There's no benefits listed on this on this first point. Okay, and so I would want to add that. You want to add that. All right, let's look at the next one. Flexible, easy to roll silicone. So what? And store away. Oh, okay. Well, that is a benefit to me because I don't have to have clutter now in my kitchen. I don't, you know, I can bend it, fold it, and I can store it away. That's a benefit to me. Let's look at the next one. Dishwasher safe. So what? Hand wash for extended product life. Okay, so the benefit is I can save money. They're not saying it, but the benefit is that it has extended product life. It's easy to clean. The dishwasher safe is a feature. The benefit of that is easy to clean. The feature is you can hand wash it and it'll give you extended product life. That's a feature. The benefit is it'll save me money. And then saved your fingers from getting scalded. It's terrible, terrible English. So it should be save your fingers from getting scalded. That is a benefit. So yeah, I don't have to burn my fingers when I use something like this. Okay, so So understand benefits versus features, and you're selling on features. You can list the benefit, but you're selling on features. So start with a feature and end with a benefit. Okay, so start with, hey, it's got 30 ridges, if that's important, and then end with distributes the heat to keep your hands safer. Okay, I'm just making it up. I don't know. So the benefit is by having these extra ridges, it's going to save your fingers. All right, so then you would list it in that order. Start with a feature and with a benefit. Okay, let's see here. So now let's move down. We've talked about the title, we've talked about the image, we've talked about the bullet points. Let's move down to the description. And we've covered most of this, but I do want to just kind of just summarize this. HTML is allowed, but don't use it. You really don't need it. You don't need to do this. Okay, we talked about why. Yeah, it looks pretty and all that, but you know what you've done is you've basically introduced your product and you've introduced a bunch of competitors by your beautiful description, because I'm spending time here and I'm going, okay, well, hey, oh, wait a second. What is this? Maybe I should get this one, right? So there is a hack or a trick over here to drive the customer back to the top of the page, which is where we want them to spend 100% of their time. We really don't want them down here. So one thing that I do in my descriptions, which again I was taught by others, is I will put a little thing over here that says something like as described or as shown in the above image. So example, let me look for here. Protects your table, kitchen countertops from unsightly burns, provides a sturdy base for heavy pans with an air pocket to better insulate your surfaces from heat, as shown in the image above or in the images above. Okay, so now I'm looking at this going, oh, yeah, this air pocket. Yeah, let me go see that. It's like, oh, okay, okay, I guess they're talking about these air pockets, right? So basically what I've done is I'm telling the user, hey, don't spend time here. Go look at the important stuff at the top of the page. All right, so that's a little trick that you can use in your description. You know, keep your description short and to the point and functional and have keywords in there, but try to get them back to the top. Don't go on and on. You know, don't give me the novel of your life. You're just distracting the shopping experience. You're sharing competitor products. You know, we really don't want that. Okay. So how do we come up with this page? I've covered a lot of material. There's a lot to consume. So the approach here is, this is an exercise that takes some time. What you need to do is basically just sit down and, just like a good writing exercise, you need to come up with the keywords like I've shared in the previous video, and sit down and write out your title. Write it out based on the rules that I shared. Then sit down and write out your bullet points. Write out a bunch of bullet points, like 20 bullet points. Nice and short and to the point. Make sure you're not duplicating your key, your keyword, your primary keyword, okay? But look at the secondary ones, etc., using the tools that I've shared before. And then take your top 5 bullet points, put them here in the bullets. Take your other 5 and put them here. And that's it. And keep it simple and keep it to the point, okay? Alrighty, so again, lots have been covered. I've talked about the importance of images, the psychology of selling, appealing to the various sexes and why that's important, appealing to your target audience, whether they're old, young, female, male, and thinking about that when you're taking pictures or having your photographer take pictures. The lifestyle shot, super, super important. You know, possibly the most important picture in your photo stack. The titles for your product, and including your primary keyword as well as your category keywords in here from your top categories that are ranked or your competitors ranking in. You want to be there too, making sure that the first thing you have is your brand name, the bullet points short to the point, include the keywords in there, and your description, and that should do it. So post questions in the private group. This one is going to take a little bit of back and forth, and that's perfectly fine. But share your notes, post your stuff, and I will catch you in the next video.